I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Debbie, we have Georgia and Tim absent, and we have Cindy and Scott present. Anybody else out there? Okay, we'll go to the agenda for tonight.
I'd like to make a motion to move the resolution 2014-22 and the appointment of the finance officer. And Craig, did you want also the appointment of Michael Close?
I do.
All three of those to after executive session, and we would come out and vote then.
No,
So there would be action taken.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other changes proposed?
I have a conflict of interest
Yep,
on the item on the back.
okay,
Under new business, I'll answer quick.
okay, thank you. Anything else from anybody? Okay, with the changes to the agenda,
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Minutes from October 6th.
Motion to approve.
All right, I'll second it. He's louder than
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Minutes are approved. Bills in between, $153,872.02.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion carried. Or vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Current claims, $197,390.45.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes,
Okay.
I notice again that we have in excess of $1,000 being paid out for Boulder Falls. Is that correct?
Yes,
Huh?
yes,
For the- Is that for Jason or for Carol?
That's for Jason.
You should not see that again. I've had a discussion with Jason that we've sent them proposals and the ball's kind of in their court with the retainer. So that we no longer have the retainer.
That's a good thing.
Okay, yep.
It's about time.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the current claims?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Cindy Messenger from the library is going to give us a communication from the public with an update on the library. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking, and
Yeah.
as I always say, thank you. I love my job.
Here, I'll give you a mic.
Okay.
You're way more interesting than me.
In front of you all have a handout that I brought, and the title of it is Books and Beyond. And I took each section of our library, and I hope to write just a short paragraph about it. I'm not going through the whole thing because you all can sit and read it. There's a few interesting numbers in there, and maybe you'll find some things that you didn't know we did. We all go home tired at night. We do a job usually seeing 200 plus people a day, and other Black Hills libraries see about 45 people a day. So this library is so used, and I want you to know that, and that people appreciate it so much. I'm gonna just hit a few highlights of things that I thought, well, maybe you just don't know about. And the second handout at the back page is the databases. That's the one thing I really want the community to know about. The state library spends $500,000 a year for these databases. They are at your fingertips. Some of them can only be accessed at home, and some, if you have a state library card, you can access them there. And a state library card is free. You go to the state site and get that, and they'll mail it to you within 10 days. If you need help finding how to do that, I can help you. The databases, for those of you that don't know, it's just a compilation of information, $500,000 worth of information. If you have a student in your home, you need it. You need to know about access to this. If you're any kind of a information buff, it helps you. There are several I want to just point out. One is Chilton Automotive. You can go online, type in the model, year, and make of your car. It will tell you recalls, and it will help you if you want to, say, repair some brakes or whatever. It's diagrammed and it's stepped out. Chilton's is a huge, huge database full of information. If you're a mechanic or just want to know the recalls on your vehicle, they're on that database. Mango Languages has over 60 languages. You pop yourself in, make a short account, and then you have access to learn 60 different languages. They're always adding, and it's just a fun place to go. Ancestry is one, if you're a genealogist at all. There it is, paid for. I think, though, Ancestry, you do have to come to the library. It's one that's rather limited, so you'd have to come to us to use it. There are two medical ones, PubMed and Medline. And the neat thing about these is they are valid. You're not just going out on the internet and typing in a disease or symptoms and getting anything. These are valid medical sites, so you know that you're safe in going there for any information. And then Learning Express Library has over 300 practice tests. So like GED, SAT, ACT, the military, beautician, fireman, any of those tests are on there. The neat thing is with them, they're set up in the same format, so you can practice. And if you have like this test fear, you can see what it's like, and then they actually correct it and give you back the report. So those are some of the, I think there's what, 47 on that list of databases. And these are the ones that I really push for people to at least know about and pique your interest, and maybe you'll go there. To go there, to get to the databases, you go to the Hot Springs Public Library website, and right on the front homepage is a little button, Online Resources, and that's where you would go. I think the thing I want you to all know the most is the service to the public. We are truly public servants there at the library. And today I asked the staff, I said, tell me your most unique experience with the public. What have you done that just made you go, oh, or the person you helped was so grateful. For one thing, we help a lot of tourists. We can always tell when tourist season starts. And this year it started earlier, we noticed. But they want airline confirmation, they want maps, they want to come in and check their email. We have helped tourists sell and buy houses because maybe they're on vacation and they have to get the paperwork, by a certain date. I can't tell you how many houses we've sold through the faxing and all the paperwork and the emails that we do. And people are grateful. We had one Alaskan come through and he wanted to vote. And he was on vacation while their voting was going on, and we helped him get online and get to the online voting center. He was so happy. Of course, people without computers, we have more than you think in this town. And they're there at 8 or at 10 o'clock when we open. The door is got, faces peeking in. Are you open yet? So we service a lot of people who cannot afford what we can offer them. We help them print off hunting license. I'm going to read some of these because you all don't have this list. Buy and sell a house, write a resume, apply for a job, buy something necessary for their livelihood off Craigslist. That person came and was so proud of their purchase. He had to show it to us all. And it's what he needed to keep his business going. We teach people to send photos of grandchildren and to receive them. We print off hunting license, get all the paperwork for their driver's license renewal, track airline flights. We've helped an adopted person find relatives they had no idea they had in Fall River County. That was a big one. We are currently helping a local author publish a book. I'm working with copyright law, and we've created missing dog posters after downloading the photo. We find and print the NFL football schedule, and we find the price of an antique book. That is just maybe a week's worth. And the different things are what keep us happy and interested in our job. We like it when somebody comes in with a really unique question. We're the only place in town that has IRS forms and movies. So those are two big services. We have over 2,000 movies and about 1,000 audiobooks for people who travel or do a commute. And then the other things I want to show you, I'm going to put the mic down because I want to show you things. This is the Blind and Talking book. We have a very high percentage of people in Fall River County. It's unbelievable when I see the chart. But it comes in a case like this. It's a USB port, and the Blind and Braille and Talking Books section of the South Dakota Library furnished the tape recorder, and this plugs into it. It used to be, 18 cassette tapes, and the blind people were. Now it's just this one thing, plugs in, the entire book is on this. When they're done, they put it back in the case, seal it up, flip the card, and it goes back to here, to the Braille and Talking Book department. It's all set up. It's usually set up through medical doctors or eye doctors. There is zero cost to the person, and they sign up and say, well, I like Western fiction or poetry or whatever. And they keep track of that, and it's kind of like Netflix, send one, get one, send one, get one, and they constantly have a book in their home. Plus, we keep some of these at the library, so if they run out, we can furnish them. And then the other thing, that the young families love these. We call them story bags, and each backpack is a theme. This one happens to be oceans. So in it is a variety of things: books, movies, music, puzzles. It's just filled with a variety of things about the ocean. And games. Sometimes we have one of birds, and it has stuffed birds in it. You squeeze them and they sing their song. These are so popular, and we just went through, we probably had 15 or 18 of them, and we went through and cleaned them all real good, updated the books if they were ratty, and they go out all the time. Our preschools use them. We work, and that's another thing, we work well with the school system. We go there for book talks. We're just constantly talking to the librarians and the teachers at the school because we want that connection. We really want to work with them. So that's about it, and you know how I say, if you have any questions, just call or stop by. But I just need to let you know that building and our services are so appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we still are open to any other communications from the public? Yes, Mr. Wally.
Yes, I finally have a time to come talk to you about the trucking business in the town.
Okay.
Like always, town is short of money, and you have a nice quarry next to property, it never was an exit. They make a business about $2 million a year. You're always looking for some money. They're sitting next to you. If they be next to the city, they have a different restriction from EPA how they control dust. So why you don't do that?
I don't think that's true, Wally. I think we checked into that a couple of years ago. They operate under the same air restrictions, whether they're in the city limits or outside of the city limits.
No, it's not. Look what's happening in Rapid City.
They
still
have
paying-
quarries in Rapid City.
Yeah, and they still paying fine.
They're paying what?
Fine every year. Support the school.
Well, the EPA and OSHA, MSHA, all of them, they come visit them periodically, and they actually have dust meters. So we went through this 2 years ago. I mean,
But the dust meter is by Wind Cave.
Hmm?
The dust meter is by
No,
Wind
no,
Cave.
they bring meters and put on their location. That's a fact. I mean, that's,
If they in the city limit, it's all a different restriction for them.
I don't
But
think
if they
so.
outside, they have a different rate. And no matter who they own them, the White Castle or Hills Material, whatever, go get them. Because the money, it's a 2% tax, you can collect like that, nothing. And the trucking running through the town with the open, and no one is covered, everyone is open, the dust is going out.
Well, it's personally pretty high on my list to look into what's possible there, and I know, there has been some stuff done in the past with, the city prior to me being here. It's on my list of things to look at when I came into office. Harley's passing has kind of changed my priority list a little bit, but it's still definitely on there, and I don't have any update for you since we talked before, but I definitely would like to look into it as well.
But
So-
that's annexed them, and that's it, you're gonna have that 2% tax.
Well,
There's nothing, you try to annex something else on the side of the city, when you just collect the property tax, over here you collect the sales tax.
I'm not gonna commit to anything right now. It's definitely something I do want to
Start
look
working
into.
on it, that money laying next to you. And you're not collecting them. Very simple, annex, done. They pay real estate taxes different, and they pay sales tax.
The real estate taxes would change. The sales tax, some of it would change, most of it would not, because most of the material is sold out of state.
No matter what you're buying in South
It doesn't
Dakota.
work that way on a highway job. Doesn't work that way.
It's the state, they're exempt from the taxes. All that state job, 79 is exempt, because it's state.
Well, get them for whatever it is reason, get something.
I'll work on it. Okay.
Find what you need.
Yeah. Buy some gravel.
City
No,
Council.
no, I hear you, and I do think it's something worth looking into again.
Yeah, that one, so.
Thank you. We're gonna go to the hearing, the Boys and Girls Club temporary alcohol beverage license for wine and reeds. We'll go back to public communications after this hearing. Is there anybody here representing them?
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on that?
I had a constituent, and I guess I kind of understand his point of view. it's for the Boys and Girls Club, so I mean, it'd be nice if we could figure out some other way to have a fundraiser without alcohol tied to it, but in a small town, I realize it's hard to raise money. You gotta entice the people to go and spend their money. I agree with the person, I mean, you'd think there'd be better ways to raise money for Boys and Girls Club without having alcohol tied to it. It's being petty, I know, but I told them I'd bring it to the table, I guess.
No, thank you. Is there anybody here from the Boys and Girls Club? I think the only person I saw speak is too old. Anybody else? No? Any other discussion? So,
Vote.
anybody want to make a motion?
We already did.
Okay, I'm sorry, discussion. All in favor of
Aye.
making the Boys and Girls Club? Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Back to communications from the public. Was there anybody else that would like to share tonight? Okay. There's several personnel items there. We removed 2 of those. We removed the resolution, not removed, but moved it to executive session. Any other comments?
Yeah, at the last council meeting, we discussed giving a merit increase. Now I see everyone in the office will receive an increase. I guess I was just a little curious, where did that come from?
It came from me. If, we're having people step up because of Carly's absence, there's more than one person that did that.
And that's what you're, I guess, saying by this is they've all stepped up and, okay?
That's what I'm saying, yes. Any other personnel discussion that will be moved on? Okay. We already did the hearing. New business, El Rancho credit.
I guess I'll make a motion that we give this account a credit of, we have decided between $1,500 and $1,700. Those are the figures that Mayor Barr and the mayor and Tracy came up with. Maybe she can explain the formula, how they did it.
Based on ordinance that we have and is available, when there's a bill that's more than 3 times their average, someone can
That they don't,
contest
that
or
they don't,
dispute.
right, that they don't know. That it's
Correct,
found
they did not
through-
know that they had to leave and fixed it immediately. There's more words to the ordinance than that, but that's the summary.
How much was the total bill? Because it was like 2 months,
It
right?
was over 2 months. It was about 2,000 over average, a little more than 2,000
For the
over
2 months.
average. But we included some costs in it. Yes, the 2 months. It spanned, a read, so it wasn't really a 2-month period of time.
They use the formula in our ordinance to calculate that amount.
I make a motion to give the credit back to them.
Yeah, I made
She
motion.
made
Second.
Any other discussion?
Should we make it a specific
Yes,
amount? I
I
said
would.
15 to 17. What's the feeling of the council? It was 17, that's the correct.
It's
figure.
closer to,
It's closer to that, then I'll make the motion that 17.
okay.
Be credited to his account. And then he'll just use it as his.
That's 2 motions you made.
No, I'm changing it. Sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion to give a credit of $1,700.
Were you still second?
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Abstain.
I'm going to abstain from this matter.
2 abstentions, 1 no, 3 yes.
So then
I said yes.
I said yeah.
Okay. Must pass.
Yes, it would pass.
Okay,
It was only 1 no.
so the abstains are just neutrals?
Right.
Okay, so motion carried, 1,700. Okay, temporary alcohol beverage license for Winter Circle at Mueller Center for the Ag Banquet on November 8th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Plat of subdivision of lots B9 through 14A. Back 9 addition. Scott, you wanna talk about that, or
I can.
anybody wanna?
Dwight came into City Hall, we discussed it a little bit also. It's actually for the townhome condominium out there, townhouse. It's lot B914A and B914B, and they're simply splitting the townhouse down the firewall and splitting the lots into 2 lots, and that's common for this kind of project. It did go through the planning commission, they took a look at it, and they're fine with it. There's a 16-foot easement for the utilities, there's a 30-foot easement for access, and it meets all the zoning and subdivision ordinances.
Thank you.
This will no way affect us with our lawsuit currently?
Why are they
This is
doing
on
this?
the
This is on Collins.
Oh, this is on
Yeah,
Collins
this is-
side, okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
My
Yeah,
concern
Good
was
question.
that each resident had its own separate water and sewer, in case there was a problem with one, and Scott informed me that they do each have their own separate waters.
The reason why they do this, Carolina, is this, for townhomes of this nature, they're actually 2 separate homes. There's a 2-hour firewall that's made, and that's how they divide them. And it's very common with strip homes, with strip residential structures and stuff like that.
Is this a structure that's already there? Is this the townhome that's there?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's on Clubhouse Drive, it's on the back 9.
Oh,
And there's 2 separate water sources.
Yeah, 2 separate water, 2 separate electricity, 2 separate sewer.
Okay.
They're 2 separate properties, just connected.
Yeah.
There a motion to approve?
We'll move.
So,
Any other discussion? All in favor? What are you two doing? All in favor?
aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried on that one. Thank you. I bring you back up, Scott. Plat of tracks A, B, and C of Block 8, James Dempsey property.
This one's actually a lot more straightforward than it appears on that paper. That proposed, what does that say, Wes? Proposed detour on those lots, that was something that was conceived back in 1933. If you go visit the property, you'll see where 25th Street should go straight north and south over that, but there's a jib knob there. And then somebody back then actually even took a dozer down and started to make a road, if you look at how that sloped. That idea went away a long time ago. There was a land transfer to make this happen. That paperwork is kind of obscure at this point, and so that kind of throws a curveball with this plat. But what this plat actually is simply the replatting of Jim Dempsey's properties. And so the detour is not an issue. His properties, it's not a subdivision, it's not any kind of division at all. The title company didn't like the meets and bounds description, and so that they had to have it replatted into Tract A, Tract B, and Tract C. And so that's really all it is just cleaning things up to make the property transfer more complete. Jim Dempsey and his wife, they already moved out to California with their daughter, and they're trying to close this sale.
There's just one structure on this, on all these lots?
Yes, sir. Yes, Jim Dempsey's, he bought it all when he bought that place.
Motion to approve?
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Scott. Portable speed sign, I didn't put this on the agenda, so we're...
I had people asking me if they could get that speed sign placed in a couple certain places in town or the reserve car, try to slow people down. And I guess I'm just kind of wondering where we're at.
Not one on 6th Street, is that? Not on 6th Street?
You want on 6th Street or you
No,
don't
I just,
want?
nobody on 6th Street is that.
Oh, no. No, University Avenue and Kennecott Avenue.
There's been a request for Fifth Street.
Oh, boy.
I've had a lot of requests, and I was told the sign is working, and if the sign ain't working, I don't know, we couldn't take a reserve car or something and just park it. I mean, yeah, after a few days, people figured it out, but if you keep moving around, I mean,
Yeah, we've done that up by Butler Park. They're supposed to be putting a portable speed sign over on Fifth Street on especially Friday afternoons before the squad car is only used by reserves.
I would have a police officer sit there for a while if they need it.
all of the above would be good. We own the sign, so I still like we all use it. I mean, and that's one, I've had 3 complaints on that.
That is a discussion I've had a couple times. And there has been some of that, but definitely there's more. Is that something you want to specifically vote on or just discuss?
I was just thinking about implementing it. I mean, we need to be doing it.
We've had a problem getting that out in the past for some reason.
I do know they've taken the car, the portable, the reserve car.
Can you guys use your microphones? We just cannot hear back here at all.
It's hard to hear because of the noise outside.
Oh, right.
Thanks.
What was discussed was that we will move the portable speed sign around a little bit more often and use the reserve patrol vehicle for dummy patrol, I'll call it, areas where we know we have speeding problems.
Passive enforcement. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Got it still here, that's good. The next item is the condemnation of 1638 Canton Avenue. Popular item with the crowd outside.
This happens to be one of the nuisance complaints that I looked into a week or so ago. And the property is a mess. It has unlicensed, I believe.
For sure, one unlicensed.
2 or 3 of them. Unlicensed vehicles, animals all over the place, weeds 12 to 14 inches high, if not higher, and just a mess. And the garage looks like it's got a car in it, a convertible, but it looks like it's going to fall over on the car that's in there. It's a rat trap as far as I'm concerned. So is the house. Scott?
On this one, I did call the owner up after it was discussed with Councilman actually, the mayor and myself. Is Jerry Jenigas in the room? Okay, I called up Jerry Jenigas, who happens to be the owner of this property, and told him that it was there was a complaint made on it. The city's looking at it, and that it's going to be on the agenda tonight. So he's aware that we are talking about this tonight. I told him that there's a chance that the city council may want me to go ahead and condemn the house, and he asked me if he could do it or if the city has to do it. I told him that the council might ask me to do it, but it would be fine if he went ahead and did it, even with me having a condemnation order out there. He mentioned that he would clean out the house. He's using it for storage now. He said he would clean out the house and either tear it down or basically whatever, is what he's saying. He didn't seem to think that the house, he didn't say that the house was salvageable. He indicated that it doesn't have any plumbing in it, indicated that it wasn't habitable. The cars, the vehicles, he did tell me that Walt Wyatt owns the vehicles. He's using it for storage. I asked about all the rubbish there, and it's also this Walt Wyatt. I got a call about 10 minutes later from this Walt Wyatt. He said that he's going to clean all that up within 60 days. So he'll have those vehicles out, according to my phone call 2 days ago, that he'll have those out in 60 days. Jerry Jenigas, he's just waiting for whatever action we're going to take.
I think that the condemnation is going to facilitate the quicker action on getting this property cleaned up. So I would make a motion that we condemn the property.
I just one little mention that when I do condemn it, it would be to either make it completely habitable with water, sewer, and so it can be habitable, or if not, then it would be taken down. That's the condition of condemnation.
I mean, there's a structure out back that is...
Outbuildings will be included in that.
So they either need to make it inhabitable or tear them down? Is that the same?
That one is going to have to go away, but the wording will be the same, but it's not salvageable. I don't think.
Okay. What is he think, the owner?
On that outbuilding, he didn't say. He only spoke about the house.
I think the outbuilding needs to come down in the wording somehow. It's dangerous. Just my personal opinion on that.
I regret I didn't get a chance to look at this property.
I'm sorry.
On one that I haven't looked at.
No.
It was brought up to the city 2 years ago. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Fresh from memory where it's at.
It's right around the corner from 338 North 17th. That's one that I started condemnation orders.
Up by Jesse Adair's house?
A couple blocks down from Bethesda.
North or south?
It actually be west. It sets on an alley.
There's quite a bit of stuff in the backyard. Dilapidated shed. That cat,
Yeah.
Christian cat.
The guy that's got that climbing wall that sticks way up in the air.
Yeah.
It's right next to it.
It's between that and the alley.
Jerry had no, he really had no, he seemed to have no interest to make it habitable or make it rentable, or he just,
He didn't seem to. He said he was going to get his stuff out.
Does somebody live there now, Carl? Say their dogs?
No, there's animals around the place.
There's a pregnant cat living in the shed for sure.
Yeah.
I saw that, so.
Now, after I issue the condemnation order, he might appeal. Everybody has the right to appeal an order like this, so he might talk to him afterwards.
But we did receive a complaint about it. Do something. So I think I got a second on that. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Scott, go for it.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Okay, the last new business, set a public hearing on November 17th, 7:15 PM for petition to vacate northwest southeast underdeveloped alley running. You have a drawing of this, or not a drawing, a petition here in your packet. An alley running between lots 3 and 10, lot 9, Phillips Edition, and Bill publication cost. So we'll have a public hearing on the 17th. So this is just their information right now.
That gets
We have to set the hearing.
Motion to set the hearing.
Doesn't that alley go through Mrs. Lessard's pole barn?
No, this is the part of the alley that is just north of that.
On the other side of the alley?
It is on the north side, between lots 9 and 10, I think it is. And all of our records show that that alley's already been vacated. It's not been an issue. This is some cleanup language because Mike Ortner is helping these people sell the property, And he can't put his hands on the document that vacated that alley, even though we don't believe it's vacated. So he's just making it legal.
Thank you.
So, all in favor of the hearing on the 17th of November?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll go to the committee reports. Carl, administrative?
Administrative didn't have a meeting last week. It would have been just me, and Georgia is out of town. But we will have a meeting the Wednesday before the second meeting in November at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, City Hall.
And do we have a meeting scheduled for the personnel manual?
Not yet.
Okay, so when Georgia gets back,
We'll get something scheduled, I hope, the first meeting in November.
okay.
That's for the entire council.
Right. Okay, thanks, Carl. Dwight?
Public Works, we discussed the water loading dock again, and it was agreed by the 3 council members at the meeting that we should relocate that to the Walker property on the bypass out here. And I plan on putting that on the agenda the next meeting. Give everybody a heads up. See what happens.
Is Tim aware of that?
Tim's on, because wasn't he there?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Dakota Street should be done soon. The city crews are digging in a new water line there.
Tomorrow, and if anybody lives on Dakota Street, they will not have water tomorrow.
Okay?
You're forewarned.
They should have all received a flyer at their door last Saturday, or Friday or Saturday.
The Spin Doctor, which is the valve exercising machine that we agreed to purchase 2 months ago or so, is about 2 weeks out to delivery time. 4th Street and 19th Street are complete, is what we're told, except for minor cleanup. We also talked about setting up another meeting with Verizon Wireless and their meters, or wireless meters, to see if we can't test a few of those, to see how that might work for us to get faster and more accurate water readings. The fountain at the park across from City Hall.
Centennial.
Centennial, thank you, is leaking. I don't know why that came to Public Works. That should go to West. I don't know.
I believe that's been fixed.
You got it fixed?
Yeah.
Okay. And citywide cleanup is next week, the 27th through the 31st. It's open to all residents of Hot Springs, so it's the last one of the year. Take advantage of it. Clean up the town. That's all I got.
Yeah, thanks, Dwight.
I have a question, if I can get my mind to not have a senior moment. When we get ready to make payment on 4th Street and 19th, is there any calculation being made with regard to their being over their time limit?
I hope so.
And how many days are we looking at?
I wasn't part of the contract creation, but Tracy and I are going to look at it before final
Good.
payment.
And that was talked about.
Was
Yeah.
it? Okay.
And Tracy was there, right? Yeah. Okay. Carl, you're back on.
Code enforcement. When I came back from Minot, I went into the office and there were 14 different complaints that have been made with regard to properties either having tall grass or dilapidated buildings. I think about half of them were given to the mayor and she's gone over them. I don't know what you've done with them,
Well,
but
Mary will be sending out courtesy letters to all those that were the weed violations.
but
Which was the bulk of them.
some of them had been from May of this year, May, June, July, and nobody was on that, so in taking it over, we got that out of the way. And moving again with ordinance code enforcement.
And we actually have the police department helping with some of the more interesting ones also. So, and I've actually, Scott, I don't know if you got my message, but I would like you, because some of the ones that the police are involved in are building inspector types of items. So Scott will be attending the public safety meetings going forward, and specifically working on those types of items.
Can I comment to this?
Sure.
I would like, I know Don DeVries asked the police department to do this, and I don't know if he's ever done, because I've never seen a list. But he asked them to drive around town in the streets and alleys and see what's blocking the view coming out of the streets and alleys. I'd like to see that list, and if there isn't one, I'd like to have the police department make one up.
Of blocked alleys,
Alleys and streets.
so just the visibility.
Oh, and with regard to the person that you talked to me about the other day, I drove by and I looked at that, and my conclusion with regard to that is it's a civil action between the two parties.
I talked to her and she's gonna have it cut. So I
City
told-
can't do anything.
I told Al.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing that the police department will be working on is signage, not just visibility. So, I agree with you. Anything else?
That's it?
Okay. Wes, Parks?
We had a brief meeting, and we met with Stacia, and we talked briefly, we looked at the colors that they sent us, kind of mock-up pictures of that playground equipment. We discussed the restroom, comfort station, whatever we want to call it, out back here with the Rotary. And I see they were all working diligently this weekend out here. Slaving away out here trying to get that thing going. And we had some people from Evans Plunge come to the meeting, and I think they were
No,
misled.
they weren't from Evans Plunge, because they were friends of Evans.
Okay, some people from the Friends of the Evans Plunge come, and they were kind of a little misinformed on the parks planning, because they were thinking we were doing some kind of a plan for the Evans Plunge property. And we're not. I mean, that was never part of this park planning deal, so. Other than that, I don't remember anything else, do you?
That doesn't preclude them from
No,
looking
no.
at opportunities there,
It's
just
just
to be clear
they,
there.
they were misinformed about the city doing a plan for that property. I mean, at the point where we're at now, I mean, we haven't done anything other than Evans, Butler Park. And a very brief overview of Brookside and a few of these other parks, but we haven't committed the money to do a full-scale parks plan.
And the next meeting's on next Wednesday.
29th, I believe.
29th. And those are open to the public, so, if you continue to have an interest in the parks, please plan to join us. It's 3 o'clock, it's on Wednesday?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Well, that Adopt a Park brochure, that's a really good idea. That would be good to
And that
get
would
that
be-
out.
Yeah, that would be
It's-
great for the Friends of the Plunge to
It's at the
adopt
front
that
counter.
space around there.
Yeah, our next meeting is when, Mary?
It's
12th.
the second, it's the
Yeah.
second Wednesday,
The 12th of
10:15.
November, yeah, 12th of November, so we can discuss it.
Okay. But you're welcome to come to the parks meetings or give me a plan on what you want to do,
Well, Neil's
which I think
the
you're going
point.
to anyway.
Neil Miller is the point person from Friends.
Okay. No, we welcome your input there, absolutely. It just wasn't part of what the consultant was working on.
Mhm.
We care about all our parks, so.
Yeah,
it's
I
not a
guess it was just an
problem.
assumption that had been made during our meetings, so we came on that assumption.
Yeah, no, and it isn't just for that readout of the consultant's work, so you're always welcome. That's a public meeting that Wes does it.
Well, they all are.
Well, right, there.
Is
Right,
it October 29th at 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
and Tallgrass will be there.
Jerry in the back of the room.
Yep, Jerry?
Well, Matt Friedel, when he put that assessment together, he did put that on there as a green space, just to be looking at. But if you look at the fine print, he definitely says that that back wall needs to be addressed sometime, because it's not stable.
The back wall being where the old putt-putt golf course was.
Oh, that.
Because it's a hodgepodge of logs and rocks and
Road,
Right,
across from the Plums.
okay, any other comments on parks? Thanks,
Well,
Bill.
I would like to really see that Adopt a Park program disseminated amongst the residents of Hot Springs. I've seen that work very successfully.
It's been in the paper, it's
Has
been on
it?
the water bill, and it's posted at City Hall.
So people should be aware of it.
oh yeah, they should, for about a year now, it's been thrown out there. Hardly
So-
started it.
So, I don't
Sometimes
know
it-
what forum constitutes advertising things, but it's definitely in at least 3 or 4 places, so. Public safety, they were not able to join us tonight, but they give me a report. They're looking at a crosswalk at 18th and University to make it safer for small school children to cross University. Streets Department is working on it. There's a concern about the storm drain and high school students, and I'm not exactly, I just got this today, so I'm not sure what storm drain they're concerned about, unless somebody
Between
knows.
16th and 17th, and University and Albany, I would think. That's storm drain in there.
Why would high school kids be involved in that? Unless they're shimmying down there to go downtown.
Or walking through there during heavy rain.
Yeah, so I
That's a
will
bad problem there.
follow up on that. I'm not sure exactly what storm drain they're concerned with, but if there's something we can do to make it safer, we're gonna look at that. So that's their report, and I will report back to them also on the portable speed sign and then street and alley visibility. Now, this meeting, and Georgia is not home, not home. Georgia's not here, her last name's Holmes. Debbie, did you want to do a finance officer report of any kind?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. I have a couple things that I was going to do. We passed last time going out for bids for the windows upstairs at City Hall. Tracy will do that when he's back from vacation. Painting of City Hall will start on Thursday. I'll work with the attorney tomorrow on the clubhouse lease. And Scott, you sent out the, is it right to use for the sign on 71? Is that the right term?
It's right-of-way occupancy.
Right away.
Yeah, for Highway 71 for the sign that you're talking about.
So we are working on the things that you approved last time. And that's the status. And that's all I have.
Motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all.